Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Portia O, your host of Lifin podcast, and I am here once again with another episode, and I am here with none other than my bestie, my other soulmate, my very good girlfriend, my sister, okay, my partner in crime, good crime, and maybe bad, we'll see. Kendra Thomas, okay? Listen.
I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so glad you are here. Like, my face is hurting right now. I'm smiling so much. Like, I have the Kendra Thomas, guys, okay? She's a multi-million-dollar wedding planner, okay? And realtor, okay? But no, yeah. So, I'm so glad to have you, best friend. Before we jump on in to what we're going to be talking about today, I just wanted to welcome those, if this may be your first time here with Life Be Lifin. We are here on this podcast and we talk about how life over here, lifing us in all types of ways, in relationships, situations, everything we are experiencing, all while in real time healing and learning how to be better human beings, okay? So that's what we over here doing. And we are still in the month of February. It's Black History Month. We got our Black History hats on. Shout out to Tarjay. And also, this is the month of love. So we've been doing a whole little segment on love. Last time, we talked about self-love. And then we talked about the holidays as far as Valentine's Day and all that type of stuff. And today, we're going to talk about losing love, okay? So I just had to have my very good friend on this episode because her story is incredible and the masses need to hear it.
And you've been on the journey with me.
I've been on this journey with you, like, from the beginning, okay? Like, so we're grateful to be able to still be in communication with each other, to experience this with each other, and to learn from each other, to grow with each other. Who would have known?
I know.
The 14 and 15-year-old us would be
right
sitting here before you now and have experienced life in such a way, okay? Life be life, okay? And I just want to start with your relationship with Troy.
Yeah.
Tell me about you guys' first meeting and all that great stuff, because y'all just had like the fairy tale love.
When people say I was Sierra's prayer.
Listen, you were.
Sierra got it from me, okay?
Period. The original Sierra's prayer, okay? Kendra's prayer, okay? Let's be clear.
But to be honest, prior to getting with Troy, it was a journey. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say every person did wrong. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of growing up and development to do myself. I feel like,
as most of us do.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes when we pray and ask God for the one, we're concentrating on the things that we desire of the other person, but not necessarily tapping in and asking God to let us be prepared for what we're asking for. And I can honestly say, prior to Troy, I was not prepared for those things. Mm-hmm. And even when Troy first reached out to me, I was like trying to push it away. I'm like, wait a minute, this is
fighting it. Like, no.
Freaking me out. So what's so crazy is we initially met back in 5th grade. Mm-hmm. I was in grammar school with his cousins, and like the school that all of us went to used to have a family fun night. Okay. And so Troy was not a student at the school, but he came on family fun night. Mm-hmm. So we dated for like a week or two.
What you call dating in 5th grade?
The puppy love.
It's just we boyfriend and girlfriend. Wasn't no kissing, wasn't no touching, wasn't no nothing. Barely even talk to each other. But when I see you, know you mine and I'm yours.
That's hard.
Okay.
And his cousin, Devin. Shout out to Devin. She would, because my parents were old school. It wasn't no boys calling the house, okay? Mm-hmm. So his cousin would call and ask for me and then give Troy the phone.
Yes. Peep game.
So that's how that used to happen. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know how we lost connection. I can't even say
life be life.
Something went wrong. Like, we were young. Like, it wasn't nothing serious, but we became friends on Facebook. And we were friends on Facebook for a while. Like, liked his posts and things like that. And I used to see statuses he would put up. I'm like, man, I need a man like that. Like, he used to talk about, I loved his adoration for women. Like, he just respected the role of a woman. Like, he had value for women. Like, and he would write poems all the time. And I remember one time he tagged me in a poem on Facebook. I'm like, what? This is so corny. What is he doing? What?
Not corny.
In a poem. Like,
not corny.
I'm like, why you tagging me in a poem? But when I read it, I'm just like, man, I'm like, he gotta be a deacon or something at church. Like, he was just like too tapped in. Like, and so even after that, like, it wasn't just me he tagged, but it was like, Troy used to always do this. Like, he would tag groups of women randomly just to, like, encourage them. Not on no,
I'm trying to holler.
Like, even, like, he would send messages to my friends and tag you out on Mother's Day and things like that. So it wasn't like on Creep Squad type thing. It was just literally...
That's like, the love he had in him.
Yeah, this man was literally an angel on earth. So I was like, okay, let me fall back a little bit. But then I saw he tagged other people. I was like, okay, it's not like that. You know, so we hadn't been, like, we would just like posting and stuff like that. He literally slid in a DM.
Period.
We had taken pictures for Pavia's birthday party. We did like a photo shoot. And I had posted some pictures from the photo shoot on there. And he commented on one of my photos, "Will you marry me? LOL." Right? I'm like, boy, bye.
No.
It's a no for me, dog. But it's so crazy because it was like, prior to that, I'm praying to God, like, so I used to have this, I was like, I'm still kind of obsessed with Idris Elba, so I would have like a teddy bear in Idris Elba face. You know how they had like Build-A-Bear?
Yeah.
I had a Build-A-Man, right? Anybody that worked with me at this job, they know. Like, I had a bear on my desk with Idris Elba picture, and on the back of it was a list of things that I wanted in a man. Like, I called it my Build-A-Man. I was like, okay, he's really creeping me out or whatever. I'm like, I'm about to ignore him. Then, so Pavia's birthday happened, May, July. He sent me a message. I ignored him for a long time. He even said this at our wedding. Like, I ignored him for like 4 months. Like, he was talking to himself.
Jesus.
In my inbox. Because I was like,
you weren't used to
is he the same type? Like, people get DMs all the time. Like, and it was just like, I'm tired of the same old thing. So,
and they be on one thing majority of the time, and ain't nobody on it.
Definitely not. He said, like, hey, you want to meet me at a bar with some of my friends? You can bring some of your friends. I was like, you know, I'll probably feel safer that way. And it was so crazy because the night we were supposed to meet up, none of my friends were available. None of my friends were available. And then I called my friend Jasmine. And she was like, yeah, I'll go with you. I was like, dang. Because I was like, I was going to send him off. All because of fear. Met with his friends. And it was just like, dang. Like, he was just such a gentleman. Like, let me start by, I didn't touch a door.
What you say?
I didn't touch a door.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And he offered myself, my friend, a drink. Like, it was just a good vibe. It was just a good vibe. And
he made you feel comfortable.
He made me feel very, very comfortable. Very comfortable. It's so crazy. It's like, you know, we ask for these things, and when we get it, and we know that it's good for us, we become afraid. We took it slow. Like, we didn't have a title or anything like that for not that long, but like a brief moment. Yeah. And one of the things that I had on my list was I wanted somebody that desired God as much as I did. Because it's like I had went through so much, and especially having a son, I'm like, I didn't want him to see me going through the trials that I had to go through when it came to men. Like, anything that I could control, I didn't want him to have to go through. And then Troy hit me up one day and was like, hey, we should start praying together. I'm like, what? Pray? I'm like, did you read my list? He was like, a list. I was like, never mind. I didn't want him to think I was crazy, right?
Who does that?
And I was like, well, I'm not going to pray out loud. You could call me and pray. You know, I'm super shy.
Yeah.
I'm super shy. And like from there, we just vibed and connected. And he was intentional. Like, there was no games. I didn't have to assume. I didn't, you know, at first I was more so afraid because I never experienced anything like this. And I'm like, okay, so a female about to pop up. I'm like, let me do a Facebook history search to see.
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, I'm definitely Inspector Gadget. I will find some information out. But Valentine's Day, like we have been talking about like marriage being our goal and things like that. Different things we aspire to do. What I really love was his relationship with Kaylin. Kaylin is my son. He's not biologically Troy's, but baby, you will could never tell. And I'm only sharing that detail just to encourage a single mom. Listen. Like a lot of times we think that, oh, no man will want me. God's man will.
Period. Whoever's meant to be with you.
Period.
And your child or children will be.
Yeah, like his connection and love for Kaylin. It's like no other. And that really, and it was genuine. It wasn't that he was forcing a relationship to impress me. It was just authentic.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows my son, like Kaylin was 6 when me and Troy met. And the first question Kaylin asked him was, do you like video games?
Because if you don't, we got a problem.
It's going to be
I ain't going to be able, Mom. Sorry. That's funny.
But I remember Valentine's Day. That was the first time I had a real Valentine's Day. Like, he did it up. I thought he was about to propose. I saw a Jared bag on the counter. I started hyperventilating. I'm like, he don't know my ring size. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm going to say yes anyway.
Period.
I'm like, if the ring's too little, I'm going to be like, and crop it. Y'all not going to.
Funny story, though. Like, before Valentine's Day is when I met Troy for the first time, which was that January at Denton's birthday party. And you have been telling me about Troy. And I was like, you was like, I'm so scared. Like, he just like, no, like, I'm his wife. Like, he was talking that stuff then. Like, brother was on it, okay? He did not play with her. He was very intentional. Like, this is what I want. And when we met him, that man was like, yeah, so I'm trying to tell her, like, I'm ready to marry her now. That was January, okay? I was like, well, go for it. I'm here for it. Like, what are we talking about? I was all ago. Like, let's go.
And I was just like, how do you know? I'm like, I'm crazy a little bit. Like, he was like, oh, okay, we gonna work through it.
He was ready.
But that just tells you, like, men know what they want. Just like women, we know what we want. Like, we're not gonna play. And especially now at this age, like,
that part.
And for him to be that intentional at that age, like, he really taught me that real love is not complicated.
Woo!
You know, like, it's not perfect, but however, it's not complicated.
It's not complicated.
And real love is based off a solid foundation. There were no hiccups as far as when it came to me trusting him. There were no hiccups when it came to me thinking it was another woman. There were no hiccups of me thinking, oh, he can't take care of, provide. You know what I mean? Like, he held it down. Like,
and he was consistent.
Oh. And was literally the piece to my storm. Because sometimes I can go from 0 to 300. Not 103.
You and me too.
And he would be like, you don't got to do all that. You got to relax. You got to relax. So I'm like, okay. You know? But that Valentine's Day, it's the fact that he listened. Like, I told him I had never experienced certain things. And he made it happen. So April, he proposed. So I actually had to sing for a funeral that morning. And everybody was just like rushing me that day. Like, They were like, oh, you need to hurry up and get home. When are you going out? So he told me it was a surprise anniversary party for his parents. And then, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. When he picked me up, there were white roses in the car. And I was like, your mama like white roses too? I'm like, that's my favorite. You know, I was like, okay. So we get there. We get inside the restaurant. I hear music, so we had a song. I'm like, why they playing our song? Like, it's not making
Still
sense.
not.
So I get up there as a photographer. I'm like, what is happening right now?
All of your family, all your friends, everything.
It was just so dope. And he told me, like, you know, initially he wanted to propose. What got me to was him asking Kaylin.
Woo! Jesus.
Like, he wanted Kaylin's blessing.
He asked him that day.
Asked him that day. And
he gave him a chain.
Mm-hmm.
I just want y'all to know that if your spouse or your potential spouse cannot include your children, do not respect
important.
your children enough.
That's
They don't
important.
respect you enough, obviously, if they don't even want to make sure that your children are on board with whatever y'all doing. Like, I understand that y'all adults and they kids, but this is a part of their life too. Like, y'all becoming one.
Yeah.
And if they don't have that relationship enough to
important.
have it with you and your kid,
Yeah, it's essential.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
I can't say it's not gonna work, but I'm just
it's
saying,
gonna be a
like,
difficult journey.
it's gonna be difficult. It's
gonna be a
important.
difficult journey.
It's important.
Like that day, like I was just like, what the world? I'm like, I'm left hand gang. But I asked him, I'm like, how did you know? Like, he was like, I knew from the moment I met you, like, that I wanted to make you my wife. And I was like, I thought you were going to do it on Valentine's Day when I saw the jewelry bag. But it was a beautiful Pandora bracelet inside there. He was like, he initially wanted to do it on Valentine's Day, but he said that's just like a typical day.
Yeah.
Like, I would have expected it. And he was like, he chose April because April made 9 months of us being together. And he was like, they're 9 fruits of the spirit. So that was significant for that. So
Take me.
he was like so tapped in.
He was
like,
so-
And I'm not saying like he was super churchy. He knew God, and that was my thing. Like, I want someone always that's gonna seek God first. Like, cause you
that
can't
was the
see
most
me.
important thing. That part. That was the most important thing to you, and for him to even correlate 9 with 9 fruits of the spirit, and I want us to exude the fruits of the spirit. You better leave me. What else you want to do? What else?
Yeah, so it was just like, it was amazing. It was amazing, and yeah, then we began the wedding planning journey.
The wedding planning.
Oh, I forgot to add, prior to getting engaged, how we went ring shopping. We worked not too far from each other. Mm-hmm. And he came, he was like, I'm going to come pick you up for lunch. I'm going to take you somewhere. I was like, okay. I'm like, let me get some hot wings, you know. So we pull up in front of Zales. I'm like, what are we doing here? Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, then we were probably together like 5 months. Girl, we getting there. I'm hyperventilating. I couldn't. The people like, are you okay? I was like, And they were playing Luther Vandross Here and Now.
Oh,
and that's why we chose that song to open up the wedding ceremony.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, girl, the people putting the ring on my hand. I'm shaking like Richard Pryor. I'm like, ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. It was just like all surreal. And to be honest, everything that transpired, it's just like that whole phase of my life seems surreal.
Yeah.
Like,
is it like a dream?
yeah.
Like, did I really live
Like,
that
did
life?
I really? Because it felt like it just happened all so fast. Like, and it
Yeah.
just got taken away. Like,
Yeah.
And I know we're gonna transition into that. I don't want to just.
No, you good.
But
You good. This your story, child. Listen. That was so. Wait, let me just so we get the dates or whatever. You guys started dating in
July 11th, 2015.
Okay, 2015. Okay.
Got engaged April 9th, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And then married October 8th, 2018.
And y'all moved in together during the engagement period.
Yeah.
So you guys got to see what it was like living with each
Yeah,
other.
the Saints was not happy about that.
Listen, the Saints ain't happy about much, but it's okay.
But, I say if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have had that experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Or that time.
That part. I wouldn't have had that time. I would not have had that time. Like, we were engaged when we did move in.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a desire of how I wanted it to be. Like, and he agreed too. Like, I didn't force him to do nothing. Like, anybody that knows, you can't make him do nothing. Like, it definitely.
He's a big teddy bear, but also.
Yes, like, he gonna step up.
Be a man, okay?
Definitely. So yeah, like, we got to experience that. It was just really awesome. I was just really happy that Kaylin got to experience what a 2-parent household is like.
A healthy
household.
That's key.
Yeah.
A healthy.
Yeah, like, because that's something that I always desired for Kaylin. Like, I never wanted to be a single parent.
That was never in the plan.
Never in the plan.
But life be life.
But life be life. I see it. I take accountability. You know what I mean? But I know that was always a desire, man, for him to be able to grow up in a healthy, loving 2-parent household.
Yeah.
And he was able to experience that in some of the most important
years of his
life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Troy would take time to do homework with him. Like, it was just like
so
I was non-existent.
You know how they say when a mother has a kid and then a husband or a boyfriend, whatever, they get pushed to the side and he be like, what about me? You got pushed to the side. It was like, me and my son, it's over here. You want to join us or not? Because we about to go do this. We about to do that. Like they used to do, movie dates? They used to do barbecues and what's the things, child? Was it a s'mores?
Oh, yeah, the s'mores.
The s'mores.
And you know what's so crazy?
He used to come up with all types of stuff.
All type of activities. Like, oh, yeah, I saw this kid. We finna try this.
So they could spend time, quality time. It wasn't like he was just there physically and you saw me with your mom. No, he was active in Kaylin's life.
He was active and involved.
He was his dad.
Literally would take off, go up to the school.
Jesus. He went to everything.
Yeah.
That's so important when you come with a child. Like, that's so important. And and I'm not excluding nobody else, but I'm just speaking from our experience because our experience is our experience. But our Black boys need active fathers, like fathers that are intentional, that are purposeful about spending time with them, showing them what it is to be a man, to love on women, to respect women, to like. It's so important.
Yeah, and he instilled so much in Kayla, because even now, like, Kayla's like, okay, Mom, what you want for Valentine's Day? Like, because Troy would get Kaylin to go shopping. Like, they would decorate the house. Valentine's Day, my birthday, like, Mother's Day.
She get a promotion. They putting on a show. We gotta turn up for Mom, okay?
Oh, and social media gonna know about it with him.
Oh, that's another key part. So y'all love was not just to y'all selves. Troy posted, if not every dang on day, every other day. Okay, Troy was gonna let you know, my queen in all caps. Okay, let me be clear. Is this thing on? For anybody that don't know, my queen, Kendra Lene. Okay.
And I used to be like, you don't have to put all that on there. I'm like, I see. He like, no, I don't care. I don't care. And now I'm like, I'm thankful for that because those memories.
Oh yeah.
Come back. You know what I mean?
They come up all the time.
I'm just like, this man was something different. Like
different. Okay. The definition of I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. Okay. All of that happened. You guys got married October 8th.
Yep.
2018. Beautiful wedding, beautiful ceremony. The Kendra Thomas, the wedding planner.
Thomas trying to love launched in.
Yes, didn't even know. It's so crazy how God works because He used you on your own stuff. Like she negotiated all of her stuff. Like they went into a T. This is our budget. This is what we gonna do. And God came in and like, and you know, and something was planted in you in those moments. And yeah, that's how we got TCOL, Thomas Train of Love. Because that was the whole theme of your wedding, and it was like a little choo-choo train on the programs. It was like a whole thing. It was so cute.
So extra.
Ain't no, there's no such thing. What is extra?
Should be when you get married.
What is extra? Okay, we're talking about my love. What are you talking about? It's no such thing. Anybody that encountered you guys, even if they didn't physically encounter you guys, you could just feel the love on all of his posts and all of his interactions and everything like that. He was so sincere. It was like, it was never a moment that you felt like this man was playing. Like, you didn't have to guess. You didn't have to try to figure out and do a jigsaw puzzle and how you feeling. Listen.
He was very vocal.
Let me woosah. This ain't about me. But listen. So, no, he was very, very much solid in who he was. And he didn't care about minimizing who he was to make other people comfortable. He was still consistently, it wasn't like I finally got her and I'm gonna check out.
I'm like, you unreal. Like,
he was super consistent in who he was throughout.
And it
y'all
wasn't
marriage.
For the book. Like, and I know some people used to be like, oh, he posts too much. He doing so y'all don't have, like, we would have couples tell us, y'all don't have to share all that. Baby, we authentic on social media, at home, at the bar, at church. Like, we're authentic. So it's like we weren't doing anything to try to one up on anybody. Literally was just showing God. And that's one of the things we posted too. Like, even like the night before my wedding, I posted that the wedding was bigger than just a wedding for people to attend. Like, I wanted people to see God can give you love. Like, a lot of you all follow me on social media. You all saw like some of the stuff I've been through. Like, and people were genuinely happy. Like, that happened for me. Like, I really wanted that to just inspire somebody else, inspire single women, inspire women in general. Like, you deserve the love that you desire to have, but you have to work for that too. Just because you ask for it don't mean you qualify for it. Like, you have to really put in the work. Like, I have to put in a lot of work. And marriage takes a lot of work. Like,
daily. Okay. A lot of daily.
It takes a lot of work.
Daily work.
And it's a lot of selflessness. Selflessness. You know, and although like we were together 5 years, married 2 years, I felt like people would be like, oh, you weren't married long enough to say. I learned so much.
Time is subjective.
Yes, it is.
And a lot happened in those 5 years that a lot of people probably would never experience. You've been with Lil Jerome for 20 years. And baby, he ain't done half. Okay, so I just want to be clear. Like, I don't want, it's not about the time. Okay, it's about the quality, and that's what God wants us to understand as well. And God doesn't exist in our timing. It's all about the quality of the time and what we're supposed to learn and get from those times or whatever. So you and Troy were meant to cross paths. Y'all were meant to be together. Y'all's story was meant to be publicized. Y'all everything was meant to happen the way that it did. So we get to 2 years in. Yeah. Troy's birthday is October 6th.
Yeah.
Prior to that, so we're fast forward to a pandemic.
So the pandemic was crazy for us. So right prior to the pandemic, February, we had experienced our second miscarriage, and I had to have emergency surgery.
Losing love.
February. He wanted to have a daughter so bad, and this was February, the year of the pandemic, February 2020. We didn't know the gender, but we lost the baby. This was the second time we experienced that. And then the pandemic happened. So let's talk about
your job.
The job, right?
Yeah.
So had the procedure February.
Mm-hmm.
Lost the job April.
Mm-hmm.
This is all 2020.
Mm-hmm. We stuck in the house.
We stuck in the house, and Troy was like, "This is the time for you to kind of tap into what you've been wanting to do." Like, and it wasn't wedding planning.
Mm-mm.
It was the HR consultant.
Yeah.
And
step out into your own thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was Ariel that reached out to me, asking me questions about weddings, because she was in she had just recently got engaged. Mm-hmm. And I was telling Troy about it, and he was like, "Well, you ought to help her. Like, you love doing that." I was like, maybe I could. I don't know if people would, tap into me like that. Mm-hmm. But it was just the fact that he was pushing me to go for what I wanted to do.
Always.
Yeah, and he didn't make me seem like a failure for losing my job. Like,
no. First of all.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's just the fact of, like, just tapping in with somebody, having somebody that's going to uplift you, that knows your flaws, but they're not going to throw them in your face. They're going to try to uplift you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and he definitely did that. Now, he'll check me if I was wrong or something. Yeah. But when it came to uplifting, he was definitely like my safe place. That was like my happy island, my turtle shell of peace.
Yes, turtle shell of peace. He saw something, and he saw all of those things in you when you didn't even see it in yourself.
Because it, we were going through so many different issues, like not with each other, but planning a wedding. There were things that came
stress.
up.
It's stress.
And outside situations that happen, not infidelity or anything like that, but how like things happen along the journey. People,
absolutely. Families,
things like
intertwining.
that.
You're gonna bump heads. You're gonna have
he was just telling me I was really letting those things affect me. Mm-hmm. And he would be like, he would always tell me that, he was like, "Babe, you stronger than you know." I'm like, "No, I'm sick of this. I'm just sick of people. I don't understand why they doing this, different things." And he was like, "Don't worry about people. Worry about the army that are around you." And he would just be like, "You're strong." He would always tell me, "You're stronger than you know." And I'm like, okay. Fast forward.
And you didn't believe that.
I didn't. I really didn't. Fast forward, we're still in 2020. October. So his birthday was October 6th.
Oh, our trip before you get there.
Oh, yeah, we gotta talk about the girls' trip.
Yeah. No, because it's just important to the whole timeline of things. 2020 was happening, and we lived like 20 something minutes from each other, and me and my husband and Kendra and Troy were cool, and we like, "Hey, we tired of being stuck in this house, okay?" And Kendra was like, "Well, we got this garage, y'all. I'm gonna set up the garage. Y'all sit on that side of the table. We can leave the door up, and y'all come over here. We can be social distance and all that type of stuff. We got hand sanitizer, appetizers, all the things." So we came over. This was like during the summer, right? Mm-hmm. We would come over some weekends and just sit in the garage, listening to music, enjoying ourselves. Like, that was our time away from in the home. Like, it was. We were stuck literally in the house, so us getting out to and interact with each other, and we kind of got really close during that period. And we got to share a lot of things with each other and get different perspectives, and to hear from Troy and to hear from my husband and like us to like, cause we always talking. Yep. So, to hear them say certain things, we like, see, like, so it was a really beautiful period. We'll be singing songs, first of all, drunk, singing songs like, "All my life." We were just having a bomb time. Like, it was a whole vibe. So anyway, me and Kendra decided that we needed a break from the kids and our husbands, okay? Mommies are tired, wives are tired.
In the kitchen all day.
In the kitchen, cooking, cleaning. It's just a lot. We need a moment, okay? So we planned a little girls getaway weekend or whatever that September. Yeah. The last weekend of September, actually, And it was like a couple of weeks. So Troy's birthday is the 6th, and my husband's birthday was the 16th. So their birthdays are literally 10 days apart. So we went to this hotel in Rosemont. We went and got massages and had got this little suite and like had a whole bunch of fat snacks and all of the things. And we just enjoy ourselves. Yep. And we was like, and I think that was the last time I physically saw Troy.
Yeah.
And because he dropped you off to meet me.
Yep. And then I ended up calling you because I'm like, that's when I found out I was expecting.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, and I was like, oh my gosh! Like, you know, because you had shared with me the prior ones and, you know, the whole
fear
experience and all that. So we were super excited. And we had so much fun that we was like, oh, this is dope. We got to bring our husbands here for their birthday. Like, I enjoy doing this with you, girl, but I need my man up in here with me, okay? So by Troy's birthday being first, you had planned for him the weekend, and then I was going to do Moyo the following weekend. So yeah, it was Troy's birthday. I believe I spoke with you guys on Troy's birthday. Called to say happy birthday, bro. Like you know, whatever. You were telling me he wasn't feeling good.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling good. And let me put this out there.
Yes.
It was not COVID. He did not pass from a heart attack. I'm still not gonna share full details, but it was not those two things that people are rumoring.
Yeah.
So just clearing the air on that.
Just to be clear.
It was like a regular day. Like the night before, he had been complaining he wasn't feeling well.
His birthday, before his birthday?
The night before his birthday, October 5th. The Miami Heat was playing.
That was his team.
And he wasn't feeling well, but I heard him screaming at the TV. I'm like, what's going on?
You got enough energy for that. No, I was just playing.
His birthday, he was feeling okay. We got up, treated him to massages, the place we went and got our massages, and then we went out to eat. We had a good time, and then since our anniversary was coming up, we were planning to do a getaway, like a staycation. Saturday, had it set up for the room to be decorated, had a driver set up to go downtown, and it was October 10th, that Saturday.
All of that was planned for.
So that Friday night, I'm sorry, I got the dates mixed up. That Friday night, October 9th, that's when the Miami Heat played.
But y'all anniversary was the 8th.
The 8th,
yeah. So his birthday was the 6th. His birthday
was the 6th.
The anniversary was the 8th. I'll talk to y'all again on the 8th.
And you know what? We exchanged gifts on the 8th. Like, I'm like, man, this man got me stuff like it's Christmas.
Yeah. He had bought you so much stuff.
So much stuff. Yeah. And it's so crazy because I had went through like some old boxes and I found like some of the old cards he used to give me when we were dating. And I'm like, oh, I need to keep this stuff, like put all this stuff together so I can know what to say. Yeah. You know, so our anniversary was October 8th. We stayed at home. We did like dinner at home because we
That's when you told me that he wasn't feeling well.
And that's when he wasn't feeling well.
And I was like, because we knew that Kendra was expecting, we knew. And she was like, yeah, he over here to my son, he nauseous and stuff. And I was like, girl, he just experiencing your symptoms.
And he like, babe, I think I'm pregnant too.
I'm like, y'all pregnant together. Like, he just taking on your symptoms.
And it's so crazy, sis, because like with this pregnancy, like the pregnancies I experienced before, like he wouldn't communicate with my womb like he did this time. He actually would hug on me and talk to my womb like, I know it's a girl. I love you. You know, and the more I think back on things, like it's just like, I don't want to say crazy, I don't want to say amazing.
It's just unreal.
Unreal, you know.
It's unreal.
October 9th, that's when it was kind of like a decline, like I'm like, he really like kind of tapped out, but then he would put on the front for me. You know how men do. And that Saturday, you know, I woke up, I'm like, he not in the bed with me. Like we would always sleep
together, no matter what. He would always make it to the bed.
I would even try to leave him sleep on the couch and like sneak upstairs. He would, oh, you thought you got me. I wanted the bed. But that night, he didn't sleep with me. And I woke up. I didn't notice till I woke up. I'm like, what the world? So I went downstairs. He was on the couch. He's like, I'm not feeling good. And long story short, I found him unresponsive. We contacted, Kaylin was at home. We contacted the ambulance. Got to the hospital. I'll just fast forward. Got to the hospital. And that's when we found out. I knew something was wrong when I got to the hospital, and it was like a group of us, and they were like, oh, all of you all can come in and go to the quiet room. I was like, all of us can come in and it's COVID? They're like, yeah, all you can come into the quiet room. I'm like, the quiet room? Like, isn't that where people go when like a person has passed away? You know what I mean? So it's not registering to me. You know, like I'm just like, okay, like he gonna be fine, you know. And when the doctor came out and told me like we've done all we could do, he's passed, I was like, what?
Make it make sense. Because it's not the math.
Like, we were literally at home watching the Parkers, okay? Like, we were at home watching the Parkers. I was getting my hair together. So, imagine, you, I'm at this hospital with 2 ponytails looking crazy. The doctors came out and announced, you know, that he had transitioned. And then they were like, do you want to see him? And, like, it wasn't registered to me. I'm like, what do you mean? Do I want to see him? I'm like, okay, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm hearing, you know. I wasn't really coherent. And they walked us back to the room, and yeah, that's when grief started. My biggest thing was, I'm like, first thing that came to my mind was, how am I going to tell Kaylin?
Jesus.
How am I gonna tell Kaylin? Kaylin was literally packing up to get ready to go to my mom's weekend.
Yeah.
Because we had plans to celebrate our anniversary.
Right.
I had to call, cancel reservation for the hotel. Like,
yeah. Cancel the lady that was coming to decorate.
Yeah, cancel the decorator. And it was just, I don't know, it was just something, because I had text y'all like, man, I'm on the way to the hospital. They saying Troy may not make it. And I'm like,
first of all, that text, it didn't read to me the way that you were saying it. I think because I had a whole freak accident that morning with some soap.
Right.
With some soap got squirted in my eye, and I was on my way to go see my dad with my kids because he wanted to see the grandkids, and I had the freak accident or whatever, so that delayed me. Anywho, I finally was able to get my eye clear enough. I was like, I think I could drive. So I get the kids in the car, get in the car, and as I'm starting the car, I get Kendra's text. And she like, Troy passed out. His heart stopped. We're on the way to the hospital or ER, something like that. And I'm like, reading this over and over to myself. Troy passed out. Heart stopped. But they on the way to the emergency room. So I took that as, yeah, like, okay, what? Oh, but he good now, but they just on the way to the emergency room to get him checked out. That's how I read that. And I felt the urge to call her, but then I was like, no, she said they on the way. I didn't want to bombard her in that moment. So I didn't call, which I wish I would have called. Just go with your intuition. This is how I feel now. And I can only imagine you constantly communicating with people, whatever, what was going on.
And I couldn't do it. It came to the point, like, I couldn't do it. Like, I'm just so thankful for my dad. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like, he literally, I couldn't even communicate with Troy's mom. Like, I didn't know how to even...
What do you say?
Put that into words. Like, my dad took that for me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And when the doctors came, my dad was in the room with me. You know, and it just really, like, my dad was with me, walking me down the aisle. My dad was with me when I got the news about Troy. The same arm I held my dad being given away to Troy was the same arm I held to say my final goodbye. Like, it's just crazy how life can change. And it's just like, so we got the news of the passing, you know what I mean? I was expecting, nobody knew, but the people that were at the hospital found out that day, because I had passed out when everything happened. They said, like, everything was fine with the baby, no need to be alarmed or anything like that. So I was released from the hospital. You all came back with me to my house to grab some stuff for me and Kaylin. And then I went to my mom's house for the weekend, not knowing that morning my son is packing to go with my mom for the weekend, not thinking in 3 hours that was going to be our new residency. Like,
Jesus.
And I think sometimes people don't really understand the impact of someone's daily life when they lose somebody. You know,
that part, Kendra.
Know, and I think a lot of times people see me like, oh, you strong. I'm resilient. Like, I'm not strong. I'm just dealing with these punches. Like, I break a lot. And I didn't know how to move forward. Like, this wasn't a part of the plan. We never talked about not being together.
Never talked about how you want to be buried.
Never talked about that. And that's a whole nother thing. That whole process is toxic to me. Like, I remember I asked my dad, like, who came up with this tradition? Like, I broke down in the store picking a suit. Like, and that's what I'm saying. People don't understand, like, the grief of the whole process. To me, funerals is for everybody else. Like, I had to say my goodbye in that hospital. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to go through all that, I'm the one, and as a wife, it hit different.
Period.
I'm the one who had to approve his body before anybody could view it.
Jesus.
I had to go to the funeral home because I had to sign off on everything. It wasn't, I could not escape it. I had to face it.
And what did Troy tell you in the past? That you stronger than you know. That's crazy how it just all came full circle, like, because you never thought that you would be in that position, not that soon, right? Like, you were prepared for it till death do us part, as in we grow old together. We experience our whole lives together. Not this soon. Like, we didn't even get to, it's only been 2 years that we've been marital bliss.
Yeah, and literally in bliss. You know
in
what
bliss.
I mean? You know,
and then boom, like, I gotta tell you bye. I gotta let you go. Like, while I'm carrying your baby.
While I'm carrying your
this
baby.
Precious gift that you wanted so bad.
Portia would come to the house and watch me sleep, okay? She was my bodyguard. Like, and I'm not taking away from anybody that was there for me during the journey. Like, everybody had an important part.
Yeah.
Everybody had an important part.
Yeah.
I'm highlighting that because we're sitting here talking.
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody to feel like what they did was
everybody.
less than. Like,
those who cared came.
My circle carried me and is still carrying me.
Period.
I cannot take credit for where I am. Like, of course, God.
Yes.
Of course, God.
But God placed people in your life to
man, listen.
be there
Listen, my circle knows who they are. Anybody who wondering who my circle is, you're gonna see me with my circle.
Period.
You'll see me with my circle. They have been holding me up. Not only me, but my son. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing for me, because it's impacted him too. Like, it's not all about me. And I think I was sharing with you before, like, going through grief, the whole process, it's like, anybody that's in my circle, I automatically expect to be protected. Like, anybody that was standing around me in that room when I got the news, I expected protection. Mm-hmm. Anybody that stood over that pulpit at the funeral, I expected protection. Mm-hmm. Anybody that was sitting in them rows, anybody that was in navy blue at the funeral, it was like an expectation of protection form. And that's just through my grieving process.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like sometimes when it happens, everybody want to be a part of the hot news. Everybody want to be tagged in.
Everybody want to say, I know her, I knew them.
You know, and I would not believe, I had people I hadn't talked to in years inboxing me like, if you don't mind, can you tell me what happened? Ma'am, what? Block.
Listen.
Like, people are so insensitive. Like, that's something that I learned. Like, I developed an expectation of protection because I felt like my protector was taken away.
Jesus.
You know, and people would be like, oh, you act different. She got an attitude when she come around. You right, I'm acting different. I'm stepping into the same rooms that a couple months prior, 2 years, 3 years ago, I had a whole shield with me.
Woo.
Now I'm walking into these rooms alone. I'm walking into these rooms a widow. Jesus. I'm walking into these rooms a single parent again. You know, like, I don't think people really take time to learn the mental state that people go through. And going through this has made me reevaluate how I've been there for people that have gone through grief. Like, maybe I wasn't there enough. You know what I mean? And sometimes people will be like, oh, well, I don't know how to be there for you, so I'm going to just disappear. That's not the answer. You can ask Siri. But I feel like, I'm just saying, but even more than that, like, being there for somebody that's going through grief is a love language.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Because none of my friends or none of the people that are here for me knew what this journey would look like for me. I didn't even know what this journey would look like
exactly.
for me. But you all have taken the time to learn the new me. You all have taken time to learn how can I be there for you, and vice versa. Like, I really learned too. Somebody told me that I think it's all about me. You think I want this spotlight?
Jesus.
You think I want this attention?
You think I want to be experiencing this?
You think I want this pain?
Listen.
You think I want this hurt? Like, and for you to say something like that, like, God knew to remove you.
That part.
From my circle. Because I know, like, throughout this journey moving forward, I need to be protected. I need people around me that are going to protect me in my face and more so behind my back. Like, it's protection not only for me, for my son, my image, my name, you know what I'm saying? My heart, his heart, like, and so it's just like, it's really hurtful because I feel so bad for my son, because the first thing he said was, why would God take away the only dad I've had in my life? And I didn't know how to answer that. And that made me mad at God. You know, and then I got a little bit of hope after that. I'm like, you know what? I can't be mad. We still here. I'm still here. I was pregnant then at the time.
Let's talk about this pregnancy during grief, okay? It would be days that we had to force Kendra to eat, okay? Talk about not being in a good enough mental space to even want to live anymore. Like, people have to put themselves in other people's shoes. I don't know what this feels like. But I could only imagine, I could empathize with her. If it was me in her shoes, I would probably feel the same way. And it would be nothing that nobody could tell me to make me feel otherwise.
Yeah, it was like, don't send me no script. People would be sending me scriptures. I'm like, I don't want to hear nothing about Jesus.
And it's crazy because, first of all, she wanted a whole turn up at the funeral. And our very good friend and brother Denton made sure that we sung
y'all told it up. Thank y'all.
Listen,
okay?
We had a little mini Paul's reunion choir situation.
Okay, thank y'all enough.
But to see Kendra was a freaking wreck at the funeral as expected. And when we sung, we offer praise. And for this baby to get up and in her state of being angry with God for what was transpiring. Angry. Like having to sit before her husband's body, not the day of the funeral only, but the viewing as well. And people constantly coming to you and but you're literally sitting in front of the body that he used to, it's just a whole bunch of things. I can understand the anger and the frustration and all of that. And for her to get up there during that funeral service and take the mic and sing.
That was not me. That was God for real, because
Jesus.
I was so mad.
She was angry, but even in her anger towards God, this is for somebody out there, even in your anger and disappointment, quote unquote, towards God, in your down moment when you feel like what else can happen, like this is just the worst of the worst, God will still, what's been implanted in you, God is still going to show up. His Holy Spirit is still, that was a peaceful moment given to you in that moment to praise Him despite what you were experiencing.
My intention was, I'm just gonna be here so I don't get fired. Like, that was my whole
period.
Oh, like, I wasn't trying to worship,
nothing.
God you took away what I prayed for.
Woo, Jesus. Talk about an answered prayer. Why would you answer the prayer and take it away?
With no warning. And people would, they were like, oh, you can't question God. You just got to
yes, you can.
Tell me what scripture says that.
None.
Sir.
None.
And I'm not a Bible scholar. I'm not even going to try to sit here and pretend to be that person. However, I do know that in order to seek understanding, you have to ask the question.
And that does say that in the word, ask and you shall find. What do you mean don't question Him? He told me to ask.
Yeah, I just really went on a whole, it was like a roller coaster.
Jesus.
I'm like, talk about help my unbelief. I did not believe in God for a moment.
God.
Because I'm like, here I am telling the world God is wrong.
Woo!
That's my saying. God is wrong. He blessed me. But then throughout that moment I had to learn, God, I still need to learn that God is wrong in my bad times too.
Jesus. That's the
part.
That's the part. You still think I'm wrong when everything is up in flames?
That part. And I gained a little bit of hope, Gained a little bit of hope.
Jesus.
We're going to fast forward.
That was October. It wasn't even.
That was October.
Mm-hmm.
His funeral was October 22nd. No, the viewing was October 22nd. The funeral was October 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
We did the gender reveal for baby Troy in January. Right? 5 days after. Because I waited till I was 5 months to do the gender reveal because of what had taken place prior to.
Right.
You and I'm like, okay, I should be safe and covered,
Mm-hmm.
Now, 5 days after the gender reveal.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Before you go down. This gender reveal. We were so freaking ecstatic. We were so... You couldn't tell us nothing, okay?
Through Zoom.
Through the Zoom, okay? Kendra was very much showing at this point and was she had got she looked so beautiful. She was glowing, like, and it was so much joy in the room. It was so much, and even on the Zoom, like, it was so many people on the dang on Zoom, and we did the reveal, had the room. There was a hotel room decorated.
Leaving during COVID.
Yeah, that part is. We didn't care about.
Even have a repair. Like, I couldn't even really.
We didn't care about no dang on COVID. We was at her mama's house every day. Okay, taking shifts. Hey, like, listen. Sorry, mama and daddy. Put your mask on. We got to be here. Okay. Day in and day out. That was before the funeral. Let's be clear, because that's very important. Everybody wants to be around. You know, the first couple of days and when you plan and all that type of stuff, but it's the after the funeral, okay? Where you are after the funeral, okay? But anyway, man, that was, I mean, we was just so filled with hope and joy and just,
especially when it was a girl. Everybody,
it was like, what? Having a girl, like, oh my God, it was just so.
And it's so much like that moment was so dope, but that night I cried myself to sleep.
Yeah, because
it's like, damn, I'm going through this alone again.
A single parent again.
And it's like, I wish he was here to, like, Troy would have told that room up. Like,
baby, when I tell you my brother, he would have been in that. Let's go. Like, what? Like, what? There would have been no containing, okay? Like, and that would have just took it to a whole nother level. Like, and we knew he wanted a girl. So it was just like, he left you a precious gift. Yeah. Like, let me leave a token, a piece of me with you. Like, we was just speaking life, like this is, yes. And then 5 days later.
5 days later, I went into preterm labor.
After exposing to everybody.
Media, like, I kept it protected. I'm not going to say hidden. I kept it protected because I didn't want to have to explain a miscarriage again.
That part.
You know? Mm-hmm. So, 5 days later, I'm sitting at home thinking I'm just going through growing pains.
And you kept calling me like, I'm cramping and what's going on? I was like, oh, it's just probably,
and I went
meanwhile, I'm sorry, we didn't had a few times you done called me and asked me or said symptoms and stuff in my dumb butt. Like, don't listen to me. I clearly have no knowledge of anything.
But half the time you was right. But, like, I'm really not, I guess I have a high pain tolerance. Like, I didn't think of anything but what triggered it was the bleeding.
Yeah.
So
had it not been that, you would have thought it was just regular stuff that happens to a woman body when you created life. Yeah.
I had pregnant when I was 20.
Right. And each pregnancy is different. You can never be like, well, this is exact. No, it's different, and your body is different.
Yeah. So once that triggered, my dad.
Shout out Daddy Sappho.
And shout out to my mama too, because girl, because my mama was right
the
there.
Rock.
Okay.
The solid rock, okay?
Both of them, Troy's mom too, like his and that. Like,
Mama Jerry?
I don't play about my mama Jerry.
Period. Listen, no, your parents, that's what I'm saying, like, your parents have been non-stop. Yeah. And people have to also take into account that her parents are not grieving Troy through her only. Yeah. They're grieving Troy themselves. Mm-hmm. They had a relationship with Troy themselves. Yeah. Troy was a part of the family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so to see your baby girl go through all that she went through and then receive a Troy and see her go through all of that, to see her lose that. Like, that's a whole, they're experiencing this too. Yeah. So people have to take into account all of those factors because y'all all still grieving. and daily reminded of it.
Yeah.
Again, daily reminded of
That's
it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, my life literally changed. Like,
in the blink of an eye.
My son went from leaving school Friday, coming home, doing homework with Troy, to dad being gone Saturday night.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm sitting here now talking like, dang, is this really my life I'm talking about? You know what I mean? Like,
this sounds like a movie.
You know, and when the good part gonna come? Because, you know, when it's a preterm labor with baby Troy, and girl, when I got to the ER, the nurses were like, prepare to say your hello goodbye. I was like, what? So they were giving me anticipation to have a deliver stillborn. So with me being in the emergency room, the whole labor delivery team, they were on it. That hospital was bombed. They were on it. That doctor came, did CPR, resuscitated her actually.
So she was born not breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is how I know this Troy, big Troy for. So, they were saying like she had to get transferred to another hospital because that hospital didn't specialize with preemies. So I was like, man, they were like, oh, we're gonna get her there fast, transport her. I had to sign off on all these forms. I didn't know what was going on. It's just like, how am I here? You know what I mean?
Like in the Twilight Zone, like
and
for real.
They gave me like cloths to do like the sin exchange. Mm-hmm. So like I would wear a cloth and then switch it out for her to lay on, and so it was a whole process from her doing good. They were like, those next 72 hours were going to be critical, to going and visiting her to like a decline out of nowhere. Like she had there was internal bleeding on the brain, and they were doing blood transfusions. I could say that hospital was great. Like, they did not give up. And in the midst of everything, we are praying heaven down. Like,
listen,
God, show up, show them who you
all
are.
All over the world, okay?
So, I'm not gonna lie. When my baby passed, I'm like, how can this God be real? If you said you'll give me the desires of my heart, and the desire of my heart was for my baby to live, and it didn't happen, how can you be real? You know, like, I'm like, is he like Santa Claus? Is he like the Tooth Fairy? You know, like, we raised and taught that this person exists, but they don't. But then I had to remember the grace that he gave me for me to still be alive, because I could have died during the delivery.
You could have died at your house.
I could have died at home. From all the blood, all the bleeding.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I love God so much, because he gives us that grace. We can think all these thoughts and he's not going to switch up.
Woo.
You know?
He will never leave you nor forsake
right.
you.
And y'all have to forgive me. I'm a ghetto worshiper, okay?
Listen, ain't no forgiveness needed, because God knows your heart.
It's just been a journey. Like, it's really been a learning experience. And it's be so funny, because I used to be like, oh, I don't want to be one of them super churchy, sanctified people hollering and shouting. But I can't give credit to nobody else but God. Like,
period.
I would not be here. Thank God for my therapist.
The grief counselor. Anybody that is experiencing grief.
Who saved me. And I gotta say, like, when everything first happened, I didn't want to talk about it, because it took me a while to even accept it as my reality.
Yeah.
But it was like when it happens, when my daughter passed and I had to go through doing a memorial. With her, now this is what's crazy. She was a week over gestational age, where I had to, by law, bury her.
Jesus.
So they were like, if you want to do a funeral, I was not mentally prepared or able to go through another funeral. Like, yeah. I didn't even want to go back up to the funeral home. Thank God my mother, my dad, they took care of that portion for me. My mom picked out her urn. Like, and we did like a small balloon release through Zoom. Like, I didn't want to do anything. And people, I hope nobody takes it to heart. I didn't want to do anything big. I didn't want to be around a lot of people because everything was just so real to me.
Yeah.
And it's just so messed up how people can be selfish.
Ooh.
And want to make the journey about them.
Yeah.
When that was not the case. If I didn't invite you over to my house, please don't take it personal. I didn't want to get up some days.
Jesus.
I didn't want to live. I'm going to be honest. And if it wasn't for my son coming and telling me, Mom, but you still got me.
Oh my God, Kendra.
Like, I didn't want to live. Because I didn't feel like I could endure anything else. Like, I'm literally like, okay, what's gonna happen? Like, that's the voice we do, sorry. But I'm just like,
what is next?
like, man, God, like,
whew, Jesus.
But it was I'm still trying to find the complete purpose in all of this. But I do know that I thank God for giving me the experience to love. I thank God for letting me be able to be a girl mom, even though it was for a short period of time. Like, I feel like my role as a wife was complete because I felt incomplete as a wife because he desired to have a daughter. And it's like those 2 pregnancies before were not successful. Yeah. So I felt like, man, I can't get this man.
The one thing.
You know, like, and not saying me personally, but like, the things just wasn't working out. I'm like, but I feel like my role as a wife, I was able to fulfill because literally, like, we got her cremated and her urn is buried in the same plot as his.
Yeah.
So, and that was a whole thing, going back to the plot, you know, that ain't even
3
been
months.
set.
Was it 3 months?
You know.
3 months after.
And to have to be there and again.
Losing love again. Kaylin losing love again.
Like,
mom and dad's grandparents losing again.
So it's a lot. And the thing is, like, I know I'm not the only one that has gone through grief, you know, and I know a lot of people have gone through grief before me. So I try not to make it where a selfish thing, like, but I just feel like those people that were there standing with me should be standing with me now, you know, like, that's just kind of, I just feel like for anybody out there, like, if you're around someone grieving, just stand by them. That's it. Money can't change. Money ain't gonna help. Like, or a legit, if you don't know what to text, just text, just thinking of you, love you, hang in there.
Yeah.
Hang in there. Literally. Because it's just, life is just so unreal after all of that. Even now sometimes. And it's just like, you know, you get through those moments and it's like, man, the death anniversary coming up. Man, the birthday coming up. Man, the funeral date coming up.
Listen. Okay, listen.
It's like, when am I gonna get a break?
It's no breaks. It's no breaks. But before we go into that part, listen. Before we go into the after, which will be the next episode. It's okay. This is your story, boo. It's your story. But before we go into the after, so we're going to close out this portion of the episode, and we will talk about the after of losing love on the next episode. But before we go, I just wanted to do my segment, Speak Life, okay? And this is the segment where I leave you with a call to action for yourself, but not just you, but for us as well. So I'll leave you with these words until next time, okay? The affirmation for today is, my intense pain means that I am capable of great love in the past, present, and in the future. Again, this affirmation is, my intense pain means that I am capable of great love in the past, in the present, and in the future. You heard it, you say it, you write it down, and remind yourself to speak it and make it happen. Because, child, life be lifing us all.
Life, yes.
until next time, please check out the next episode with my good friend Kendra. Finish telling her story about love and losing love, and we'll be talking about the after of it all. Thank you all for tuning in. Love you very much, and see y'all next time.